Hello everyone, this is Catherine at Catherine's Granny Squares. It's that time of year again when I like to do a little video to encourage any of you who haven't started crochet as a hobby or even thought about starting crochet as a hobby to think about it. We're in autumn, the nights are drawing in, we're approaching winter, and those longer nights, they mean we're probably sitting watching the television. We might be doing our other hobbies, of course, but this video is to encourage anyone who might think, what can I do differently this autumn/winter? So what better time to put out a video to encourage you? So you may be thinking, well, I can't really afford to go out and buy, yarn and hooks, but let me tell you, there's a way of getting around that. First of all, we'll talk yarn. So yarn. Unless you've got a nice friend who will say, here's a ball of yarn, you could go to places like the yarn shops who usually have a bargain bucket, or you can go to charity shops who are seemingly selling wool now, old and donated wool. What else? You could go to a car boot, but the car boots aren't so much about at this time of year. Or you could go to places like Poundland, where of course you pay £1 a ball. But at the moment, the last time I went, I got three balls for the price of 2. But anyway, this yarn I want to show you today is actually from Poundland, very seasonal colour, and that is an Aran. And as I say, when I bought these, it was 3 balls for the price of 2, so £2, 3 balls, you can't lose. And I have used this yarn from Poundland in lots of projects, and it has been extremely good quality. I waited for ages for it to come in last time, and I have stocked up on it because I love it so much, and it's reasonably priced. So also, when I say yarn, for anyone that's new, I do mean like acrylics. You can buy wool. We tend to say yarn as a blanket term, but or wool as a blanket term, but wool is wool, obviously, which is from sheep or alpacas, etc. And yarn, we tend to think of as the blanket name, but we're talking usually acrylic. So I personally am very careful with anything with wool in because I have eczema, so just be aware of that, just a little tip. Now we're talking hooks. Now, yes, there's lots of hooks in the market, and I just want to show you a couple. These sort of hooks are the ones that you'll find at the end of the aisles. When you're in the supermarket, you turn around and there's usually a little display, and you often see this type of hook, and you can get them in yarn shops as well. They're not expensive. They're fine. They do the job marvellously. But, and I did think about this very carefully before I said it, I do want to put this in. If you have joint issues, then you might want to spend a couple of extra pounds. Now they're probably just over £1, and you can probably get a set. They're very reasonable, £1 or £2 for a set for one, and then maybe a set would be about £2. But for an extra £1 or so, you could go for an ergonomic hook. This is a Clover Soft Touch. And believe you me, I am not sponsored by anyone. This is just one of my favourite hooks. And if you do have joint issues, then I would say, if you want to think about crochet, that you might start with this one. You think, oh, my joints hurt, and you might give up. And I wouldn't want you to do that. Why don't you just say, maybe spend a couple of extra pounds and get one of these, invest in one of these hooks. I remember during COVID times giving one of these to my friend because her metal hooks were hurting her hands. So that is the yarn, and that is the hooks. As regards what do you do? Well, of course, this is YouTube, and there's loads of videos, including on this channel, my own channel. But to learn crochet, what I would suggest is you, could watch one video, but then don't leave it like that. Watch several videos, and don't think that holding your hook, you've got to hold it so much. You can look at the videos and see what people suggest, look in books, magazines, but then you'll get in the way of holding your hook the way that's comfortable for you. Then that's the right way. Don't let anyone tell you you're holding your hook wrong. I've heard so many people say that, and it puts them off because they've tried to hold it the right way and then they can't do it because it doesn't work with their hands, etc. And obviously, if you're left or right-handed, you're talking different ways you're going to hold your hook. So that's another thing I wanted to add in. So yes, you can source YouTube. Of course you can. I'm going to advocate that. But you've got books, you've got magazines, and you can ask people, of course, watch people. And a lot of people learn from relatives, don't they? Or get somebody. Some people like to have somebody with them. And of course, there's always crochet and knitting classes in local yarn shops and groups and libraries, etc. So that's that. The other thing, I just can't emphasize enough, the benefits of crochet. Of course, once you get into it, it's relaxing. It's mindless, just doing the stitches. And you've got satisfaction from a project, hopefully, or a new hobby, you're achieving something. It's all to do with satisfaction, and it's absolutely brilliant for your mental health because you can sit there, you're sitting, you're relaxing, you're focusing on your stitches, and if you get into a pattern where it's just mindless, you can just drift away. You can watch a television program and you can just be doing something with your hands and achieving. I can't emphasize it enough. So as you can see, I'm full of enthusiasm that I want to give over to you about crochet because I couldn't live without my crochet. I'm sure I would be stressed out because it is a big, for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, big de-stressor because, as I say, you're sitting relaxing. Now, when you're learning the stitches, don't feel, oh, I'm just doing a sample of stitches. You could carry on and make that into a scarf or a cowl. Look at my video on the infinity scarf because that's basically just long stretch and you're joining up, etc. So it is easy to do. It's very easy, and it is one that I would recommend to try. So don't waste your samples. Or you could do smaller samples and you could join them all together, make yourself a blanket. That type of thing. Nothing's wasted at all. And if you want to reuse yarn, just pull it out and use that one again until you get into the swing of things. And if you're feeling a bit miserable, pick a nice bright colour. And you can sit there and you've got your nice bright colour. If you've been following me, I do like my bright colours. So I think I've emphasised it enough to you because I really can't, because I'm just so positive about the effects that crochet could bring you. So I've covered the yarn, I've covered the hooks, I've covered the joy, I've covered where to go for help. Of course, you do hear a lot of people say they've learned from their mums, they've learned from their grandmothers, etc. My mum was a knitter first and foremost, and then crochet second. I'm the other way round. My mum was a great knitter, and she could sit and make up her own patterns, watch the television. If I'm knitting, I'm watching everything I do. Whereas crochet, I can watch the television and do it at the same time. I know Sheila, if you can check out her channel, her knitting channels, I'll link her below. She's the other way round. She can sit like my mum and watch the television and has to look at a crochet. I'm the other way around. So I hope I've encouraged you. I hope that you might pick up a hook, buy a hook. And as I say, as I did think long and hard about, because I'm thinking of the cost, but you're only probably talking of a couple of pound difference. And if you do suffer from joints, perhaps think about starting with one of the ergometric. This is I'll put it in the description box below, but this is a Clover and they're just over £3, rather than you do start with a metal one and then it hurts your joints. I wouldn't want you to be in that situation. So that's why I thought long hard. Do I put that in because I'm thinking about the money, but then I don't want people to be put off, you see, or be having sore joints. And as I say, sore shoe yarn. And that's it really. It's my usual video at this time of year. So if you have been with me for a while, just think, oh, she's at it again. But if you're new to the channel, or if you're watching this because you found me on YouTube, then I hope that I have encouraged you to pick up a hook, pick up some yarn and make yourself a nice project. You don't have to start big. As I said before, you can practice your stitches. You don't have to go all out and make like cute little amigurumis or, you know, cardigans. Start small, baby steps and work up. It's the time of year for scarves. Start with a scarf, you know, and then you can work up and do what you want as you progress. So start small, work up. Get the yarn from like bargain buckets or a charity shop, or ask a friend for if they could give you an oddball. And the hooks, as I say, either if you're fine with your joints, I think just go for one of these metal hooks to start with. But then if you're not, perhaps think about investing another couple of pound extra and get an ergonomic hook. And did I say I'm not sponsored, by the way? It's just my favourite hook. That's my favourite hook. And I wouldn't want you to get sore joints. So that's it. So I'll catch you on another video when I'm going to talk about my projects up to date. I'm not sure if I've got any tutorials planned at the moment, but I did do that last one with the basket. But probably a short will pop into my head and an idea, and I'll put out a short. But either way, I shall see you all soon. So I'm going to say happy crocheting like I always do, because I hope that you will perhaps give it a go. See you all soon. This is Catherine from Catherine's Granny Squares. Bye for now.